There's no surprises tonight. Although the closed primaries are not somehow more legitimate tonight than they were last week, it's still a flawed process, and the outcome is still not very convincing. And Hillary's reaction through surrogates is strongly suggesting the need for an independent run. Yes, Sanders knows he won't be the Democratic Party nominee, and it's hard to believe he ever really thought he would be. But he's also been clear that his endorsement of Hillary Clinton is not a sure thing, and it shouldn't be. Don't expect the media to be able to understand this, because it can't think outside of binary two-party politics. See, Hillary is not very good at working with others. She's an effective autocrat, but she's not good at making concessions. And frankly, I don't think she feels she needs to. I think she thinks she's won a mandate. But she's only won a mandate with Democrats, and Sanders is not really a Democrat. And I think that that's going to be a big sticking point in trying to kind of get her head around things. She's running for the leadership of the Democratic Party. She really only seeks the support and affirmation of Democrats. And when you grow up in that world for so long, I mean, like this, she's been shielded by the Democratic Party establishment for 30 years. In fact, it's probably been more like 40 years, right? It's easy to see why she sees the world in us versus them, right? Democrats versus, the vast right-wing conspiracy. And anybody that's not in line with the Democrats is a part of the vast right-wing conspiracy, right? She doesn't care at all about independence, and she doesn't think she needs to. She thinks that winning the Democratic primaries and being affirmed by Democratic voters is enough, right? And trying to convince her that it's not enough, I think, is going to be very hard. The way this process is supposed to work in the minds of the party establishment, and probably in the minds of most liberals, most Democrat voters, is that they have the primary. The candidate with the best ideas wins, and they win because they have the best ideas. And the candidates that lose rally around the winner, because the people spoke, and the voters are never wrong. So, if they win, then therefore they must have the best ideas. So, logically, they must support the candidate. And then that, in their minds, is what they call democracy. But leftists have never believed that democracy is reduced to a voting decision, nor have we ever believed that a majority mandate negates the views of the minority. In fact, a lot of conservatives have that view as well. But leftists are very, very stringent about this. Democracy is not something that you do once every 4 years. Democracy is something that you live. It's a way of life. We believe in tough negotiations through civil disobedience and spoiled ballots, if necessary. We don't believe that just because you lost a vote that you're wrong. And we believe in fighting for what, we want past the point of that vote, right? Because we can change minds, we can build different coalitions, etc. And we're not going to support the Hillary that we see in front of us because she doesn't reflect our value systems. And when I say it's not really about the value systems, it's about the policies, right? The policies she wants to put in place are not the policies that we want to support, right? So we're just not going to support her. The reality is that Sanders is making demands that he cannot truly believe that Clinton will accept, because they're coming at it from completely different points on the spectrum. Okay, and is in the process preparing himself for a re-exit of the party he was never really a member of. Look at his list of demands. Do you really think that Hillary Clinton is going to support tuition-free public colleges and universities? That she'll ban fracking? Do you really think that making that demand is something that's going to come to fruition in any way? It's the Democrats. They don't propose things like this. If you want ideas like that, then you're really going to have to start a different party. Because the Democratic Party is a capitalist, right-leaning party that believes that people need to compete over things, that money trumps, you know, morals and the environment and all these sorts of things. It's a capitalist party, and it puts capitalist values, which are competition, class-based interests. I mean, would you expect the Republicans to accept any of these proposals? So why would you expect the Democrats to accept them? And that might seem like an outrageous line of thinking, but it's the right line of thinking. And you're delusional or you aren't, right? There's no chance that she'll pick up any of these demands. Okay? See, and this is the irony of the way the media works. It functions so strongly on branding that it even confuses itself. Bernie is supposed to be the honest one. The naive, honest, clueless socialist, right? So he couldn't possibly be engaging in politics now, could he? But of course he is, okay? And the reason he's giving her these conditions that he knows she will never accept is that he has no intentions of supporting her. I think in a lot of ways he's even mocking her, okay? If you look at some of the things that Clinton has said over the last couple of years, she said, well, her position on Keystone is not clear. She'll have to wait until she sees the report before she makes the decision on Keystone. Which was bullshit, right? It was really politics for saying she planned to support it. And as it happens to be, the United States is currently an oil exporter, right? But I mean, the line that she put down was it was completely political. It was designed to allow her to make a decision without making one, right? In public. If you ask her about the TPP, she said the same thing. And of course, nobody believes her when she says she doesn't support the TPP. So what's he doing here? It's the same kind of argument. He's saying, well, how do I know if I'm going to support her if I don't see her platform? Right? Very logical. I mean, how do you criticize that? Of course, you would need to see somebody's platform before you could determine whether he's going to support them or not, right? But everybody, including him, knows that he's not going to support the platform that she puts out. And she's not going to pick up any of the conditions that she's putting down, and he won't be able to support it, right? It's just he doesn't want to come out right now and say, I'm not going to support her. He'd get swarmed, right? And there's all kinds of things going on in the background. He is still gaining on her in national polls. You got the indictments. It's a it's a situation that requires some politicking, which is what we have here. I really, from what I can see here, have to conclude that he has every intention of running, but it's going to depend on things like what the polls look like in August, and et cetera, right?